Thank you very much for joining me again on this Saturday evening. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. Right into Tammy, another disturbance back behind it. I want to get into that as well. Here's the very latest on what we're seeing with Tammy. It is a hurricane. It did get a little bit stronger. It's been wobbling. That's been good news for some, but for others, Antigua and Barbuda, we're seeing some of those impacts moving in right now. Now, Dominica, the heaviest weather, stayed just off to the east. Same thing in Guadalupe. The eye wall was basically on the eastern edge of Guadalupe, but all the heaviest wind and rain was just off to the east. But we are seeing the feeder bands working in to Dominica, over toward Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados. We had some flooding earlier with these feeder bands. Here's a closer look. Now, here's Anguilla. You get over towards St. Martin, St. Bart's, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat. Now, some tropical storm conditions are possible here. Look how close this is. Antigua and Barbuda. The center of it would be right about here. Again, the center just to the east. But a lot of rain and some gusty winds over the next 6 to 7 hours will be working in for some of us. So long this holds and doesn't wobble a little bit more, we'll get some gusty winds and some rain, but that would keep the worst weather ever so slightly just to the east of Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, watching over toward, again, St. Martin, over toward St. Bart's. This would keep the worst weather just by a couple of kilometers off to the east. So watching out for that. It is going to be a close call. Again, I've been talking about just a small shift would make a big difference, and it is for some of us. Now, as this lifts to the north, we've seen those feeder bands move in. We had really heavy rain earlier in Barbados, a sampling of what we could get tonight in, say, Dominica, Martinique, even Guadalupe, as this lifts up to the north with some heavier rain. Now, out here, this is Norma. It is weakening, moving over the Gulf of California, Baja California. That will eventually bring some rain to Texas. And this may be catching your eye out here. That is another tropical disturbance. Now, this one, it's not very organized at all. Again, most of the modeling, I looked at everything on this. While it's a big blob of rain right now, most indications are it would stay weak, but it could bring us a better chance of rain as we get into the upcoming week. So keeping an eye on that as well. But this here, and look at this. See this rain here coming out of Turks and Caicos? This is the front that is helping to curl this up to the north. This front trying to move in a little bit sooner, keeping it just to the east, helping keep this to the east of Guadalupe today. Getting a look at Guadalupe here, but here's Barbados. The heavier rain earlier lived to the north, but even though the system is up toward Antigua and Barbuda right now, watching out for, again, some of these rain bands that will be feeding in. Now, as we get into Antigua and Barbuda, of course, a nighttime system is always scarier. I haven't seen this get rapidly intensify or anything like that, so that is some good news, trying to stay cautiously optimistic. We're going to have tropical storm conditions for the most part in Antigua and Barbuda, winds of 110 kilometers an hour or 70 miles per hour. And then tomorrow we'll have some gusty conditions at times as it lifts to the north. We'll see those feeder bands moving in. So we're thinking of you tonight in Antigua and Barbuda. If you can, safely leave your comments, hoping some of the worst weather either stays to the east or just isn't too bad. But as of now, again, the next at least 6 to 7 hours, that's when some of the worst weather will be working in. Guadalupe, again, a lot of the action to the north. The center stayed just to the east. With that, we'll see some scattered feeder bands, some gustier winds as we go over the next 24 hours. So again, on track, the center just off. This is a couple hours ago to the east of their Guadalupe. And again, it will eventually make the curve. There's more indications now that it wouldn't stall, that it may move out to sea. It's a wait and see on that. So Bermuda down the road, watching that. Now, we do have over toward the British Virgin Islands tropical storm watch in place. That's more so of a precaution if this just kind of wobbled into our direction. But we've been talking about that for days and days. British and U.S. Virgin Islands prepping for the possibility of tropical storm conditions. But again, most of the action is sitting there off to the east. You see those watches that were posted right there. Elsewhere, we have the hurricane warnings. But you see the center of this orange shading, those are the tropical storm winds. Again, most of it is off to the east of the center, which is actually common in a system like this. And that's why as this just stays to the east of us, that keeps the worst weather off to the east, which is good news. Although Antigua and Barbuda, again, as we go through the overnight, we're going to see the heaviest weather that will be working in with Tammy. You see here, this is 11 p.m. So as we get into midnight and then early tomorrow, heavier weather Antigua and Barbuda, scattered elsewhere. But those feeder bands, Guadalupe, Dominica, you're going to have some gusty rain at times tonight. And then as we work forward into what we have going on into our Sunday morning. By 8 in the morning, you see as this system lifts up to the north, we will see this kind of working in, bringing in some more of those feeder bands, and then it lifts to the north of Anguilla as we work our way into tomorrow evening. But still some of those feeder bands, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Antigua and Barbuda, could see some rain at times late tomorrow. As far as the rain is concerned, in Anguilla and St. Martin, St. Bart's, and Antigua and Barbuda, we're looking at some rain upwards of 150 millimeters or 6 inches in some spots. Most will be a little bit less than that. Heaviest should be over the open water, which of course is some good news. But there are the tropical storm to hurricane conditions that are moving in again for tonight. This is right around midnight. That's when we're going to have some of the worst weather. See the white shading and the red shading. That would be some winds anywhere from 80 to 110 kilometers an hour or 50 to 70 miles per hour. Then it lifts to the north, but as it does tomorrow morning, we're still going to see those feeder bands bringing in some of the gustier winds. Could get a north wind in Anguilla tomorrow, gusty tomorrow morning, and then the system by tomorrow evening, the bulk of it, most of it, will be lifting up to the north. So looking at that, keeping an eye on this, that's the other tropical disturbance, which isn't showing too much. And then the heavy rain, this is tonight, still watching out for heavy areas of rain, parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. We've been highlighting that for days and days together, but there goes Tammy. This is by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and you see not much out of that system off to the east. Again, a big blob of rain at this point, so I'll be watching that. But you see here, some of that moisture tries to feed in as we work our way into Monday, so I'll watch out for that. And then this here, this will most likely run out of time to develop into something tropically here in the southwestern Caribbean, but still lots of rain, parts of Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, as we get into Monday. So again, all eyes this evening and overnight on Antigua and Barbuda with this, and elsewhere, some of our other islands could get those gusty winds. Watching out for mudslides, flooding possible, those feeder bands even tomorrow wrapping into the system. A very fine line for where the impacts are, and I've been showing you this, a small shift making a big difference that did help us out in Guadeloupe and Dominica. So keep me posted in the comments on what you got going on, and I'll be watching this all through the night and again through tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for sharing this information, and be safe.